to see a couple of teams with playoff hopes, the Houston Oilers and the Indianapolis Colts. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Indianapolis. Tom Hammond, along with former Seahawk linebacker Michael Jackson. In this topsy-turvy NFL season, the Oilers and the Colts are teams on the rise. And, Michael, this afternoon, not much question about the Colts' game plan now that they have one of the game's finest runners.
There's no doubt. Eric Dickerson is that game plan. He will run the ball today. He has run for 100 yards in each of the 3 games that he has been with the Colts. And he has added something to this team that they have not had, and that is a breakaway threat every time he touches the ball. They know that he has the ability to score every time he touches that ball.
And, of course, his role doubly important today because the Houston Oilers are banged up in the middle.
The Houston Oilers are banged up in the middle. Grimsley may not play today. Al Smith may not play. They both have the injuries, and they're not sure whether they're going to be able to sustain those injuries and get out on the field and play today.
And we know if the Oilers are to win, quarterback Warren Moon must have a big game.
Warren Moon was 5 for 23 last week. 4 completions he threw, 4 interceptions he threw last week, and 5 completions to his own teammates. So he almost threw as many to Cleveland as he did to his own team last week.
These two teams are hoping for the playoffs in the Central Division. The Oilers are just a game out of first place, tied for second, and in the Wild East.
In the Wild East, the Indianapolis Colts are in an unfamiliar position right now. They're tied for first.
Jerry Glanville, all in black, the Oilers head coach. And on the Colts sideline, Ron Meyer, who has a winning record as the Indianapolis head coach, taking over in the last 3 games of the '86 season. Houston will kick off, and this kickoff is sponsored by Budweiser, the king of beers. Bentley a yard deep for Indianapolis. Takes it out just short of the 20-yard line, knocked down at about the 19 by special teams coverage of the Houston Oilers. Down leading the charge, Ray Wallace, an Indianapolis native. So Indianapolis will take over at its own 18-yard line. Hogaboom comes off a poor performance in New England. He had 3 interceptions. Dickerson has had 3 straight 100-yard rushing games. Another one today will set a Colts record. He leads the NFL in rushing. And a massive offensive line averaging 291 pounds per man, led by the Pro Bowl performers Hinton and Donaldson. Hogaboom to put it up on first down. Across the middle, wide open to Booza. Matt Booza for a short gain out to the 23-yard line, where he's tackled by Steve Brown. Here's that Houston starting defense. First-round choice Childress, having another fine year, heads that defensive line. The Oilers are hurting at linebacker, especially inside, where Smith and the team's top tackler Grimsley are banged up. And it's a strong secondary. In fact, Keith Bostic leads the AFC with 6 interceptions. 2nd and 4 for the Colts. Pitch it to Dickerson. And Dickerson stopped for a short gain, and a flag flies as he was out of bounds. Grimsley came up to make the tackle, but on the sideline a flag.
Grimsley comes up to make the hit, but he's a little bit overzealous and gets Dickerson out of bounds there. That's one of those things where the guy, you know, is going to get a few yards on you, and you want to make sure that he knows you're around to hit him all day long, and that one you just can't take.
Here's Bob Frederick.
Personal foul on the defense, number 31, for a late hit out of bounds. First down.
So Jeff Donaldson, number 31, is called for the late hit after Grimsley had made the initial contact. Here it is again.
See Dickerson a yard, 2 yards out of bounds. You just can't hit a man out of bounds like that, no matter who he is.
So it gives the Colts a first down at their own 39-yard line. Opening minutes of this game from the Hoosier Dome. Dickerson cuts up. Gets about a 5-yard gain to the 44-yard line. John Grimsley again making the tackle. Grimsley, leading tackler on the year for the Oilers, playing today with sprained ankle ligaments, and they're not sure how long he can go.
That's another reason you don't hit a man like Dickerson out of bounds, because he gets mad, then he's going to go crazy on you. He's got that slashing and dashing. He's also very fast and very strong. You see him put his head down there and run over people. He will have a big game today.
There are the numbers on Eric Dickerson against the Oilers. In fact, in the first game this season when he was still with the Rams, he had a good game rushing for over 140 yards. Over 50 on the second play of the game of that. Hogaboom. Complete. Brooks has it for a Colt first down into Oiler territory. Jeff Donaldson and Patrick Allen make a saving tackle, but Brooks coming across the middle, wide open for the first down.
Brooks just runs a simple drag pattern. That means he's coming across the middle late. The quarterback gets plenty of time, just dumps the ball over the middle to him. He picks up a big gain there. Last season, Brooks caught 65 passes for over 1,100 yards, so he had a big season.
Ron Meyer with a record of 26-22 in pro football. Hogaboom had a tough game in the rain at New England last week with 3 interceptions. Play action on first down. And complete to Brandis for a gain of about 9 yards on the play. Brandis right against the sideline made the catch, and then Keith Bostic knocked him out of bounds.
Interesting pattern that time. They had one man going deep, and that was Matt Booza. He had man coverage. Hogaboom had good protection, so he dumps the ball off to the flat to Brandis. You see the good protection there. They fake the ball to Dickerson, and everybody's going to respect that fake. Good time. He just can't find the man open and dumps it off into the flat.
Only the 4th reception of the year for the rookie Brandis. Colts with a 2nd and 2 at the 38 of Houston. Bentley dives for a first down. Albert Bentley into the game, giving Eric Dickerson a rest for a play or two, and carries for another first down. Johnny Meads finally tripped him up. But Albert Bentley, who is one of the best runners in the AFC in his own right, now the backup to Dickerson, carrying for the first down.
The players are feeling that Albert Bentley is coming around this year since that acquisition of Dickerson. He's played a lot better simply by being pushed.
Gained over 500 yards this season. Second leading rusher for the Colts, who have a first down at the 32. Dickerson behind blocking. Takes it down to the 25-yard line. John Grimsley again in there to stop Dickerson. Grimsley is the best against the run of the Houston linebackers, but Dickerson had good blocking that time.
A little delay there. Grimsley's going to make a great play. You see Chris Hinton, number 75. He's leading that, and actually he pushed Grimsley right into that tackle.
This drive for the Colts began at their own 19-yard line. They're now down to the 25 of the Oilers. Hogaboom is perfect on 3 pass attempts, and Dickerson has carried 3 times for 13 yards on this drive. Pitch it back to Dickerson, again with blocking. Hurdles across the 20 for another Colt first down to the 19 of the Oilers. And there's Grimsley again to stack it up.
Grimsley's going to have to be very active today. That's going to be a big key to this game for the Houston Oilers, how well he can stay healthy, how long he can stay healthy. Eric Dickerson gets the good blocking out in front, and he, like we said at the top of the show, he adds that extra dimension. When he gets the ball, there's a possibility that he could score every time.
You saw Ron Sold, number 66, the pulling guard, leading the interference that time. First down for the Colts. They're at the 19 of the Oilers. No score, 11-14 to play first quarter. Hogaboom checking off the play and giving to Dickerson. He's at the 10. Touchdown!
Fruition right here. Eric Dickerson gets the ball, gets the great blocking up front, and then the rest of it is sheer ability. Eric Dickerson will not be taken down by arm tackles. You have got to hit him in the chest and hit him with everybody on the team before he's going to go down.
Matt Booza downfield supplying a good block as Dickerson scores from 19 yards out, capping an 81-yard drive for the Colts. Dean Biasucci will attempt the extra point. Ron Stark the holder. Biasucci now 14 for 14 in extra points this season, and Dickerson leads the Colts on an 81-yard drive. Indianapolis breaks on top 7-0.
This is the home of the world-famous Clydesdales, a symbol of Budweiser's tradition of quality you find only in the king of beers, because this Bud's for you.
It's a Radio Shack Merry Christmas.
Oh, I remember that Christmas. Dad gave me my first shortwave radio from Radio Shack. What memories. This Christmas, we got our son's Color Computer 3 from Radio Shack. It hooks right up to our TV and was on sale for less than $130. The Color Computer 3 makes learning fun. Jimmy even lets me use it for word process when he isn't playing computer games. Lucky I still got my shortwave.
Save $70 on the sale-priced Color Computer 3, only at Radio Shack.
Got a Ranger and it fits my style. On-road, off-road, mile after mile. Lots of power under the hood. Having fun, looking good.
Ford Ranger. It's hot on the trail, cool on the street. Ranger takes you where the action is, day or night.
Having fun, looking good.
Now get $500 cash bonus on all new Ford Rangers.
When I'm through with you, you're gonna be history. I'm gonna eat you up.
Nothing takes care of a mean appetite like Campbell's Chunky.
Eat you up.
Campbell's Chunky, it takes care of the meanest appetites.
Eric Dickerson toting the ball 5 times on that drive for 38 yards, including the 19-yard touchdown scamper. And the Indianapolis Colts, with a long drive on their first possession, marched down the field to get the touchdown. A very impressive drive.
Very impressive indeed. There's one thing that Eric Dickerson has caused this team to do, and that's believe that they can win every game. Whereas before he got here, they used to just go out and hope they didn't get blown out of the game.
So Warren Moon over on the Oilers sideline, snapping on the chin strap and ready to come on the field as the Oilers will have their first possession after Biasucci kicks it off for the Colts. Curtis Duncan is deep for Houston. Duncan's going to chase it down almost at the sideline. Going to try to reverse his field. He cuts up and is tripped up at the 13-yard line. Terry Wright made a good tackle, a shoestring tackle, and Houston is backed up on its first possession. Here's the offensive lineup for Houston. Warren Moon had a nightmare game against Cleveland a week ago. Almost as many interceptions, 4, as completions, 5. Rozier is the top ground gainer on the team, and Givens the leading receiver. On the offensive line, guards Munchak and Hill, the Pro Bowl performers. Houston will get a chance when we come back.
Just in time, American Express introduces Purchase Protection. It insures almost any retail item you buy with the card for a full 90 days in case it's accidentally damaged, stolen, or simply flies away. You don't buy this protection. It comes automatically only with the American Express card. Membership has its privileges.
Nowadays, when it comes to telecommunications, there's a great deal of confusion. With so many different products and services available, it's a real problem knowing what's just right for your company. Well, we have a way to end that confusion and solve those problems. We can help custom tailor an entire telecommunications system to your company's exact needs. No, GTE.
Now that Kmart has a sale on men's Wrangler 915 stone-wash jeans and colorful men's sweaters, finding the perfect Christmas gift for Dad could be the easiest part.
New from Black & Decker, the Air Station. It has all the pressure you need to inflate anything fast. The Black & Decker Air Station, always at your service.
NBC Sports World heralds the holiday season with a spectacular gathering of the world's great figure skaters. Olympic hero Scott Hamilton, the sensational Robin Cousins, and everybody's favorite Dorothy Hamill. An encore presentation of the World Professional Figure Skating Championships. Next Saturday on NBC.
Jeff Lighting, a reserve Colt linebacker down on special teams, shaken up on the kickoff and being helped to the sideline. 2-year veteran out of Texas. So here's Houston with its first offensive possession, starting from its own 14-yard line. Here's Warren Moon. Jerry Glanville told us yesterday, try to give Moon some confidence early with some runs, some short passes. This is the pitch. It's to Rozier, who has flipped at the line of scrimmage. Falls forward to about the 16-yard line. Maybe got 2 on the play. Jerome Salley made the tackle. As you see, the Colt defensive line, 2 former first-round choices, Thompson and Hand, splitting Sally on that defensive front. Colt linebackers of strength. Bickett, the team's leading tackler. Odom and Krause tied for second place in that department. The secondary, though, can be a problem. Interesting note, Tullis is a former Oiler who led Houston in interceptions back in '83 and '84. 2nd and 9 for the Oilers. Moon, plenty of protection, drops it short, complete to Wallace, who takes it to the 21-yard line. Cliff Odom making the stop for the Indianapolis Colts. Wallace is a native of Indianapolis. He was an All-American high school player at Indianapolis North Central High School. 10-minute ticker. You see that the Jets break on top of Cincinnati. Ken O'Brien with a pass to Freeman McNeil in that one. Brent Fullwood scoring the touchdown for Green Bay. The only two teams on the board, except for Indianapolis, who scored on its first possession here to lead 7-0. 3rd and 3 for the Oilers. Moon to Rozier. Gets outside. He's got the first down. And dives out of bounds around the 40-yard line. Freddie Robinson, the rookie, finally nudged him out of bounds, but Rozier got the corner and took it to the 39, a gain of 18 yards in the play.
That's exactly what the Houston Oilers needed. They don't want Moon to have to throw the ball early in this game, so they run with a draw, get the ball to Rozier going on the outside. You see just a slide draw to the outside, plenty of good blocking, and just nobody in front of him picks up the first down.
So the Oilers, starting at their own 14-yard line, have advanced it all the way to their own 39, where they have their initial first down of the contest. Rozier across the middle and gets about 5 yards to the 44, 45-yard line. Barry Krause, the veteran inside linebacker of the Colts, making the tackle. Krause with 62 stops coming into this game. The former first-round draft choice, a 9-year veteran out of Alabama. And on the sideline, Jeff Lighting being tended to. Looks like it's his left knee.
Well, you hate to see any of those knee injuries. Along with that, Barry Krause is coming back from extensive knee surgery a couple of years ago, and he's made a great comeback to be in this lineup today.
2nd and 6 for Houston. Wallace might have left too early. The Oilers, Moon's pass is batted back in his face and incomplete. Jerome Sally got the hand up to knock the ball away. There's Sally, number 76, 6 years out of Missouri. Came to the Colts in a trade from the Giants this year.
But the Indianapolis Colts are going to get a lot of good pressure simply because of what Dickerson's done.
Illegal motion, the call against the Houston Oilers. The penalty is declined by Indianapolis, setting up a 3rd and 6 for Warren Moon and company.
I was giving credit to this Indianapolis defense, giving it to Eric Dickerson. The reason I'm doing that is because he has added that dimension of confidence in the whole team that we can win. We don't have to go out and hope we can win.
Jerry Glanville on the sideline. Houston converted on a 3rd down a few moments ago. And they try it to Rozier again, and once again, he is close to the first down. It should be enough right at midfield. Barry Krause putting the stop on Rozier, but they went to him again on 3rd down, and again Rozier comes through.
They're running what almost looks like a Statue of Liberty. Warren Moon goes back like he's going to pass the ball, and he hands off at the last second to Rozier, who's coming around on almost a trap, almost a draw. He lowers the head and picks up the first down.
Another injury, with this time Freddie Robinson of the Colts is down on the field as Rozier gets a welcome drink after carrying 4 times for 30 yards. There's Freddie Robinson, the rookie out of Alabama. We'll take a break here with Indianapolis leading Houston 7-0.
1987 Motor Trend Car of the Year. The world's best-selling car. America's design leader. Now, during Ford's leadership celebration, get up to a $600 cash bonus from Ford.
Winning the world over. You're winning. Have you been behind the wheel? Winning the world over. Have you driven a Ford lately?
Look, got trouble in the trail.
Chasing a wayward bull's one thing. Bringing him home's another.
Boy, I never seen that before.
And when you found a way to lure him back, you head for the mountain. Bush. Head for the beer brewed natural as a mountain stream.
Head for the mountains of Bush beer.
Listen, there's another reporter I gotta talk to. Well, you scooped me again.
Jones, I didn't know you could read.
Where are you off to?
The airport.
Don't bother. I called. Our flight's canceled. Some mechanical thing.
Mm-mm. Your flight's canceled. I'm on American.
American? Where you going, anyway?
You read all about it in tomorrow's paper.
When you're something special, people know it.
Tom Bosley's a priest. Tracy Nelson's a nun. Together, can they solve a murder?
Yes!
This killer doesn't have a prayer. Fatal Confession, a Father Dowling mystery, Monday.
We're back at the Hoosier Dome where Freddie Robinson wonders if anybody got the number of this truck that ran over him.
It looked like that whole team hit him. Rozier hit him first. Barry Crouch, you see, gets a piece of him, and you always hate when your own teammate hurts you.
Robinson helped to the sideline and replaced by Mike Pryor. First down. Moon goes on the short pass, completed to Rozier. He's into Indianapolis territory down to the 46-yard line where Barry Krause makes another tackle with help from Johnny Cooks.
Getting a little bit of extracurricular activity out there. Big Bruce Davis is involved with Donnell Thompson.
Fullwood scoring that Green Bay touchdown. And an O'Brien pass for the Jets. Here's St. Louis on the board leading Atlanta. Here at the Hoosier Dome, 7-0 Colts with 8:02 to play in the first quarter. The Colts drove down the field 82 yards on their first possession. The Oilers took over at their own 14, and now they're at the 46 of the Colts with 2nd and 6. Rozier powers forward close to the first down. All right, let's go to Bob Costas now in New York for an update.
Okay, Tom, here's that jet touchdown you mentioned off the play-action fake. It's Ken O'Brien over the middle of Freeman McNeil. Look at that little dance step. He cuts to the outside, beats a couple of defenders to the flag. Touchdown, Jets. That capped a 65-yard opening drive, and the Jets lead Cincy 7-0.
The Jets, one of the 5 teams tied for first or tied for last in the East, whichever you prefer, with Indianapolis, and the Colts leading Houston 7-0 here in the first quarter.
I think the fans of both of these teams would like to think they were all tied for first. Jerry Glanville, you see there, would like to think that his team would be almost in first place after this game, the Houston Oilers.
They're a game behind Cleveland, and Cleveland must play at San Francisco. Cleveland, of course, bombed Houston last week 40-7. It is a first down for Houston. That pass is deflected. Incomplete. There is a flag on the play.
I think we've got some illegal motion on the left side of that line. Ernest Givens jumped just a tish before the ball was snapped.
Bob Frederick does indicate illegal motion against the Houston Oilers.
You know, I can sense, I played with Moon in college for 3 years. I can sense that right now he wants to go deep. He wants to go for that home run. But Jerry Glanville is going to hold the reins on him and keep him short, keep him throwing those short passes and running Rozier up the middle.
Illegal motion on the offense. Number 81 was moving, and the penalty will be refused. There will be second down.
Givens, number 81, guilty of the infraction, which is declined by the Colts, and it's 2nd and 10. What about Warren Moon? What sort of player is he around his teammates? Is he the inspirational type, the holler guy, or is he a quiet sort of leader?
Moon's very quiet. He leads by example. He does not get out there and cheer you on. He's going to go and do the best he can, but he's a very quiet person, very private.
2nd and 10. Rozier, good blocking up the middle. He's across the 35 to the 34-yard line. Johnny Cooks makes the stop there, but a second down running play, and again they go to Rozier, and he gets a good gain on the 10th play of the drive for the Houston Oilers.
The Houston offensive line is doing a good job. They're coming back, setting up for pass, and then running almost a trap play up the middle where they're giving the ball to Rozier. He's picking his hole, and he's picking a good hole at all times so far.
Rozier, 6 carries for 42 yards. A pretty good ground battle between Rozier and Dickerson developing here. And the Houston Oilers faced with a 3rd and 4 after that 6-yard gallop by Rozier. Moon retreats to pass. Goes deep for the end zone. Incomplete. Intended for Drew Hill with Eugene Daniel covering, but Hill was behind him. The pass just a little too long.
That's what Moon likes to do. He likes to go deep, and he likes to go deep to Givens or Drew Hill. Both of them have good speed. That time, Moon just simply outthrew Drew Hill. He could not catch up with the ball. Moon is very active in the pocket. He sets his feet good, gets his composure, throws the ball, but unfortunately for the Houston Oilers, just a little bit too long for Drew Hill to catch up with.
So on 4th down, Tony Zendejas is on to attempt a field goal for the Houston Oilers. It'll be a 53-yard attempt. Zendejas has been hot, though. His longest this year is 52. He's hit 14 of 17 this season. The long attempt for Zendejas, and it is short and no good.
There's a penalty flag down. A late penalty flag.
Bob Frederick conferring with his officiating team as the Colts and Oilers gather around to listen in.
The Houston players are pointing back at the Colts, saying that they did something after the ball was kicked. There's been a lot of scuffles after every play so far between the Houston Oilers and the Indianapolis Colts players. There's some animosity out on the field. You can sense it. Where you would hate to be a guy who did something stupid at this point in the game. You just dodged a bullet.
Unsportsmanlike conduct on the defense, and it will be a 1st down and 10 with a 15-yard penalty.
There is a gigantic break.
Unreported.
He said the number was unreported, so we really don't know what happened, but a gigantic break for the Houston Oilers, who get a 1st down now and keep the drive going. They'll spot the ball inside the Colt 20. Jerry Glanville's team just getting a huge break on the unsportsmanlike conduct.
Jerry Glanville celebrating a late Thanksgiving.
And the number unreported, so we really can't tell you what happened. In any event, the Houston Oilers with a 1st down at the 19-yard line of the Colts. I formation in the backfield. Rozier is the tailback. He gets the pitch. Wallace with a block. Rozier will try to cut it up. And he gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that's all. Donnell Thompson at the bottom of the stack for the Colt defense.
Nesbitt Glasgow made that play. He lined up at strong safety, but he came up towards the end of the line on the right side, and he comes in, and you'll see him force that play, number 25, right there, forces Rozier outside, and then the inside pursuit comes up and makes the play for no gain. But it was a good defensive play. It seems like the Colts have a nice defensive game plan set up so far.
There's Glasgow, another teammate of Warren Moon and Michael Jackson of the University of Washington. 2nd and 10. Moon's pass, batted down again. That's the 3rd time on this first drive that the Colts have knocked Moon's pass to the ground. This time, 6'7" John Hand did it.
John Hand gets his hand up there and he knocks the ball down, pardon that pun, but Moon was going for Jamie Williams on that play, a little quick slant, and had he been going for Ernest Givens, he might have gotten 6. You see John Hand jump up, get the big paw in front of the ball, but Ernest Givens is running down the sideline just unattended for the touchdown. Moon didn't see it.
John Hand, the 4th player taken in the 1986 draft, the All-American from Alabama, having a good year for the Colts. 3rd and 10 for Houston. You see the clock approaching 5:20. We're in the 1st quarter. Indianapolis up 7-0. Plenty of time for Moon. Now he scrambles, tosses it incomplete for Rozier. Moon had room to run, decided to flip it to Rozier. And it goes incomplete, bringing up another 4th down and another field goal attempt.
That goes along with what Jerry was telling us yesterday, that Moon is a little bit frustrated lately. That time it appeared that he could have run for the 1st down. Instead, he tried to give it up to Rozier, and now they got to go for the field goal.
Normally he's a good runner. He's the 4th leading rusher, in fact, on this Houston team with 101 yards on the season. This field goal attempt by Zendejas, 37 yards. Johnson, the punter, is the holder, and the kick is blocked. Byron Darby blocked the kick by Zendejas, And so the Colts, despite the penalty that gave Houston a first down, hold the Oilers without any points. So it'll be the Colt offense coming on the field. They lead 7-0.
Here's something everyone worries about when flying, whether their carry-on luggage will fit.
Could you put this in the overhead compartment? How about under the seat?
So at Samsonite, we've designed carry-ons you truly can carry on, like our garment bag and suitcase in one, packed with features that make things easier to pack. At Samsonite, we'll never leave you holding the bag, proving once again that our strengths are legendary.
If you had all the experience of yesterday, with all the skill and innovation of today, you couldn't lose. Blue Cross and Blue Shield. Carry the caring card.
There's a free-spirited little animal whose territory is constantly expanding. It's the Ford Bronco 2. Making tracks in remote watering holes and lush feeding grounds. Clawing up mountain trails with V6 power to go where the herd gathers. And Bronco 2 switches to four-wheel drive when it's on the scent of off-road fun. The Ford Bronco 2. Its territorial range is bounded only by imagination.
Now get $500 cash bonus on all new Ford Bronco 2s. America's favorite pastime returns to NBC as the nation's top rollers battle it out for Bowler of the Year honors. Join Jay Randolph and Hall of Famer Earl Anthony for the PBA Fall Tour next Saturday on NBC.
Field goal blocked by Eugene Daniel on the extreme left in the blue jersey. Watch him come through.
Does it just perfectly. Lays out there, gets those hands out, and knocks the ball down. Big play. They don't get any bigger than that.
Darby then picked it up, and leading 7-0. The Colts have it at their own 25. Bentley takes it for about 2 or 3 yards before Richard Byrd downs him at the 27-28-yard line. We'll see where they spot it at the 27.
Going back to that blocked field goal, you get Houston down to that point, you give them a chance at a field goal. They missed the first field goal. You get a 15-yard penalty. They get the drive started again. You stop them, then you block the field goal. That's going to go a long ways in making this Colt team believe even more in themselves.
Second down play. Bentley is in for Dickerson. Hogaboom's pass bounces right off the pads of Pat Beach. Beach had it would seem. John Grimsley was covering him, and it bounced right off the shoulder pad of Beach. You could hear it all the way up here.
That's one of those things that Beach started to run before the ball was firmly locked away, and before he even caught the ball, he was going to go upfield and try to pick up big yards.
Ron Meyer stalking the sideline. Jack Trudeau with a headset on number 10, the backup quarterback, and there's Eric Dickerson with his trademark goggles sitting this series out. Bentley has replaced him. 3rd and 8 for the Colts. Pass incomplete, a little too tall for Bill Brooks.
Well, those are the kind you hate, when they throw that ball up there too high, and Donaldson just laid him out. But he does get up. Billy Brooks gets up. I'm really surprised he got up that time.
Brooks, a fine receiver, and he and Givens have sort of a personal duel going, the second-year men.
Donaldson, you can't see it here, but Donaldson was licking his chops all the way on that one. That's the kind you love to catch, a receiver stretched out like that.
Givens of the Oilers, Brooks of the Colts, each over 1,000 yards receiving in their rookie years a year ago, and their stats remarkably similar through their short careers thus far. Stark, who's been in a slump, is on to kick on 4th down. Johnson takes it and is hit, but it'll be a good field position for Houston as John Holt stops him at about the 48-yard line. Only a 33-yard kick by Ron Stark, who has really been in a slump. He was the Pro Bowl kicker for the AFC a year ago. They got 5 yards on the return. Good field position for the Oilers.
Atlanta has come back to tie St. Louis 7-7.
New Orleans at Three Rivers Stadium leading the Steelers 3-0.
Well, the New Orleans Saints, they should be in the playoffs this year. This would be their first winning season in quite a while. I think the first time in the history of the team.
Never finished above 500 has the Saints. First down at the 47 for the Houston Oilers. Moon has a man complete right at the first down marker, a gain of 10. The grab made by Willie Drury, and Willie Tullis immediately makes the stop, the former Oiler player.
Houston's running some kind of funny offense. They're sending a running back in motion probably a second and a half before the ball is snapped, which is legal. They can go sideways. They just can't go forward. But they're sending a guy in motion right before the ball snapped to see what kind of defense they're going to get out of the Colts.
Measurement shows it is a first down for Houston by about half the length of the football. Houston with a razzle-dazzle sort of offense. You never know what to expect. And Jerry Glanville in a preseason game against the Colts won it and really mixed up their defenses that day. So the Colts know that they have to be prepared for anything when they face the offense of the Houston Oilers. Jeff Lighting, the reserve linebacker of the Colts, has torn ligaments, and he's out for the rest of the game. Rozier picks his way forward for about 3 yards, stopped at the 40 by John Hand.
That defensive line for the Colts is a tough foe to go against. You got Donnell Thompson in there, Jerome Sally, and John Hand. Those are some big guys up front. It's hard to get around them if you're going to run straight at them. They play the run very well, and especially John Hand. He's coming from Alabama, and all they do is run in that conference.
6'7", 298 pounds. Sally 6'3", 270, and Thompson 6'4", 275. 2nd and 9. They gave Rozier only a yard in the last play. Boone under pressure gets rid of it to Rozier on the screen. He's tackled after maybe a gain of 1, perhaps to the line of scrimmage is all. Mike Pryor, smelling the screen, got over there to break it up, got away from the blockers, and tripped up Rozier.
Great individual effort by Pryor on that one, because you get out one-on-one with Mike Rozier. Warren Moon is so strong. Watch him get away from the rush here. Most other quarterbacks may have gone down, but he gets rid of the ball to no avail. A great play there. Pryor sheds the block and then makes a nice play on Rozier to make sure that he doesn't get any yards on that play.
Pryor, one of the replacement players for the Colts, leads them in interceptions with 4. 3rd and 10 for Houston. Indianapolis with its nickel defense in. Warren Moon's pass is complete. Penalty flags down. It looked like the Colts had too many men on the field. Drew Hill makes the grab for a first down. Mike Pryor pins him to the turf there. And we'll check the penalty flags. The Colts came in with their nickel defense, perhaps their dime defense, and they had one player too many. They had a dollar defense on there.
That's what it looked like. They had a $1.50 maybe.
There were 12 men on the field for the defense, and it was a completed pass, so the penalty will be refused.
So Jim Perryman perhaps was the extra man, even against 12. Moon hits for a 19-yard gain.
In a preseason games, 51 out of 62 plays that they had, the Indianapolis Colts lined up in a nickel defense.
Has to be discouraging when you have 12 men on the field and you still can't stop.
Hey, you got to go back to the drawing board for sure then.
At the 23-yard line, the Oilers have a first down. They trail 7-0, just over 2 minutes left in the first quarter. Rozier inside the 20, down to the 18-yard line, where Donnell Thompson finally stops him.
That little delayed draw may be the only play that the Oilers practiced this week. They had one heck of a time trying to get a practice facility lined up this past week with all the high school playoffs and whatnot.
And bad weather and tractor pulls in the Astrodome. In fact, their last practice the day before the game yesterday was in the ballroom of the hotel.
They were out dancing in the ballroom with us.
The Hoosier Dome had high school playoffs, and it was raining outside, so they practiced in the ballroom of the hotel. 2nd and 6 for the Oilers here. Moon's pass is complete to the 13-yard line. Drew Hill with another grab, and Mike Pryor immediately tackles him, and it'll be a little short of the first down. Well, perhaps it's close enough to measure. We'll see.
John Hand, you see him on the right-hand side of your screen. Moon has a great field vision right there because the offensive line for the Houston Oilers just cleared the middle of that field out. They were just wide open down the middle. He didn't have a hand in his face. Moon seems to be throwing the ball a little bit low. That's why he's gotten, what, 2 or 3 of them knocked down already today.
Well, by a matter of inches, it is a first down. So Houston does have a first down at the 13-yard line of the Indianapolis Colts. A minute left in the first quarter. Indianapolis leading 7-0. This Houston drive set up by the short punt by Ron Stark, only 33 yards. They try it on the ground and get it to the 10 with Alan Pinkett on the carry, the former Notre Dame player who was just activated a couple of days ago, just off injured reserve. He gets the carry and is stopped by Sally and Hand on the front of that defensive unit of the Indianapolis Colts.
Indianapolis is playing very tough right down here. Inside the 20, they're going to play very tough.
Spot the ball just inside the 11. It's 2nd and 8 for the Oilers. Just 12 seconds left in the quarter. Moon for the end zone. Incomplete. Ernest Givens battling in the corner of the end zone for it. Couldn't make the grab as he was going out of bounds with Eugene Daniel covering on the play. That'll bring the first quarter to an end. So Ernest Givens trying to work on Daniel. Moon found him, but he couldn't hold it and will walk to the other end of the field. At the end of the first quarter, it's Indianapolis 7, Houston nothing.
I have a very long Christmas shopping list. A whole football team that my career depends on. But my shopping is easy because they let me know exactly what they want. Isotoner gloves for men. I buy isotoners for the big guys and the super fast little guys and everyone in between. Because isotoners fit them all. So this Christmas, take care of the hands that take care of you with isotoner gloves.
Way to go, Dan.
Thanks a lot.
Lady Stetson, you're free playing in the big leagues. Country proud with a fragrance all your own. Lady Stetson, an exciting blend of contrasts, like America itself. Lady Stetson.
This Christmas, why not remember them with a gift that's as easy as sending a card and lets them shop for themselves? Gift certificates from $5 to $50 from America's favorite store. Kmart, the saving place.
Third down coming up for the Oilers after this play in the end zone.
Most quarterbacks throw the ball a little bit higher. You see Moon put a lot of zip on it. It hit Givens in the hand. He just couldn't hang on to it. But most quarterbacks throw a timing pattern down there. They loft it up and let the receiver run underneath the ball. Instead, Moon put the zip on it, put it where he had to because Daniel did have good position. Givens just couldn't hang on to it. That touchdown against Cleveland last week was an 83-yarder, the longest Houston pass play since way back in 1977. In 77, it was Pastorini to Burrow. As you see the first quarter stats, pretty even. A little more passing yardage for the Oilers and total yards in Houston's favor, as is time of possession. But as we know, the Colts, with their first drive covering 82 yards, have a 7-0 lead. The Oilers knocking on the door, though, 3rd and 8 from the 11 of Indianapolis. Pinkett is in the backfield for the Houston Oilers, along with Alonzo Highsmith. Move for the end zone again. Nobody even close to that one. That time he lofted it, and I think they're going to get pass interference. He did throw that ball up in the air, and there was a late flag. There may be pass interference on Drew Hill. They say it's going to go against the Oilers, though. It's pass interference against Houston. Always spot Jerry Glanville dressed entirely in black.
Offensive pass interference, number 81, and the penalty will be refused, and it's 4th down.
Givens called for the interference, the offensive interference, bringing up 4th down, and another field goal attempt by Zendejas. He was short on a 53-yarder. He had a 37-yarder blocked. And this time he'll try it from 28 yards.
I'd be a very nervous man if I were him. I missed one and then I had one blocked. I don't know what I'd do now.
But he has been really kicking well. And this one splits the uprights. So from 28 yards, Tony Zendejas gets the Houston Oilers on the board. And with 14:54 left in the second quarter, it's 7-3 Colts.
Great. But we wanted a Bud Light.
Bud Light! If you want the great taste of Bud Light, ask for it.
Now go get pizza.
Bud Light. Because everything else is just a word.
How does the advanced new Chevy half-ton stand up to Ford? Chevy gives you more standard power than Ford, more cab room, more shoulder room, more two-sided galvanized steel, new two-tier loading, and a bigger, heavier frame. So how does Ford stand up to the first all-new full-size pickup introduced in this decade?
Not very well.
The heartbeat of America.
Test drive it.
That's today's Chevy truck.
At Braun, we believe simple is better than complicated. Order is better than confusion. Quiet is better than loud. Only through superior design can one achieve superior performance. It is this philosophy that has helped make Braun the #1 selling foil shaver in the world. What's also helped is that no other shaver gives you a closer shave. Braun, now available in America.
Today's game is brought to you by the Heartbeat of America, today's Chevy truck. By Bud Light, everything else is just a light. And by IBM.
Tom Hammond and Michael Jackson at the Hoosier Dome in Indianapolis, with the Colts leading Houston now 7-3, 14:54 to play in the first half. Tony Zendejas just kicking a 28-yard field goal to get the Oilers on the board. And Lee Johnson kicking off for the Houston Oilers. Bentley deep for Indianapolis. Tries to one-hand it at the goal line. Picks it up on the bounce. And makes a pretty good run out of it. Out to the 23-yard line.
It seems like that always happens. You make a dumb play or some play that you don't expect a guy to make, and he almost breaks it for a touchdown.
Here's your 10-minute ticker. Buffalo on top of Miami. First score in that game up at Rich Stadium. St. Louis 14-7. Lomax with a touchdown pass for the Cardinals. Here's Gary Hugeboom on for the Colts. Their first drive, they went 82 yards for a touchdown. Second drive, 3 plays and a punt. Eric Dickerson, who sat out that second possession, is in the backfield and the only setback. Brandis in motion, fake it to Dickerson. Hugeboom with plenty of time. Completes the pass to Brandis, who's knocked down at the 30-yard line. Got 5 or 6 yards on the play, and Keith Bostic really stuck him at the 30.
Boy, Keith Bostic caught him on the other side of the field. Brandis was not looking for anybody. He had just gotten the ball from Hugeboom, and he laid a big lick on him. Good blocking up front. He's got plenty of time to look around the field and find the receiver, and then when he found that receiver was hoping that he had not found him because Bostic was right there.
2nd and 4 for the Colts. This time they give it to Dickerson, looking for room, makes a nice cut, and then is wrapped up as he tries to get outside. Keith Bostic, who came up, didn't go for the fake and just put the clamps on Dickerson.
There's one thing talking to the offensive linemen is that they have got to hold their blocks a little bit longer. Bostic, you see the strong safety coming up. He's going to just read Dickerson, keep his feet still, and then get into pursuit and make the big play there. But the offensive linemen have got to hold their blocks a little bit longer because Dickerson could come back and forth 2 or 3 times before he got down the line of scrimmage.
He lost 2 on that one. It's 3rd and 6. Hugeboom pumps, then fires. He's got his man. Bentley at the 20. Touchdown. on a 72-yard touchdown strike from Hogaboom.
Gary Hogaboom, that pump fake did it. He caught Bentley on a one-on-one coverage against Johnny Meads, laid it out there just perfectly, and from there on it was history.
6th touchdown of the season scored by Bentley, 72 yards. Donaldson made a grab at him, couldn't catch him, and he went in for the score. Biasucci will try to tack on the extra point. It's good. So the Indianapolis Colts strike quickly, covering 76 yards on only 3 plays with a 72-yard pass. And what's
that
the
little move there? The little outside move and a pump fake by Hogaboom, which we couldn't see there. And then all he's got to do is catch it and run.
Perfect coordination on the timing, and the Colts on top 14-3.
Profound than words. Diamonds.
Listen to the heartbeat.
And you'll hear how to get a lot more Chevy for a lot less. $350 to $1,200 less on a specially equipped new Beretta, Cavalier, or Celebrity, depending on the car you select. You could even save $1,200 on this new Corsica, with options like air conditioning, tilt wheel, and more. Couldn't you go for savings like these right now?
The heartbeat of America. Just today's Chevrolet.
The Black & Decker Workmate. About all it can't help you do is clean up. But at least it gets out of your way. The Black & Decker Workmate.
It's been a long day, big boy. Still got something left? Sure you do. Yeah. Wheaties, Wheaties, your whole wheat. Now go tell your mama what the big boys eat.
Next Sunday, the NFL plays here when the Chargers battle the Oilers.
Before your team takes the field, our team hits the air. NFL Live.
We're back at the Hoosier Dome, and the fans in a party mood here after the Colts strike quickly to get their 2nd touchdown of the game. That one on the long pass from Hogaboom to Bentley, and it was the pump fake that really made it look good. You see Duncan deep for the Oilers as they're ready to receive the kickoff. Houston has had the ball many more minutes in this first half, but they trail 14-3. The kick by Biasucci, taken by one of the up men. Fumble. Oh, my. Ball's loose. Pinkett fumbled it, and Indianapolis recovers. Here it is again. Pinkett just activated, coughs it up, and it'll be Dave Aarons that falls on it, number 57, for the Indianapolis Colts.
Things just aren't going right for Houston Oilers, and that's just proof that when it rains, nothing goes right. You know, forget when it rains, it pours. When it rains, nothing goes right for you.
And it is raining outside, although here in the Hoosier Dome, we're safe and warm. And as you see, in 1987, the Colts with a +7 to the Oilers -3, a big advantage in the takeaway giveaway department for the Colts. On the reverse, here's Bentley. Squirming his way down to the 12-yard line. Patrick Allen finally making a tackle there, but it'll go for a Colt first down.
You know, on that play right there, they fake the handoff to Eric Dickerson, then you give it to Bentley coming around. The defenders don't know who to go with. You've got Bentley coming in motion. The fake to Dickerson there, he's going to draw a lot of people away from him, and then Bentley's got it. Nobody's on that side for at least a first down for him.
Further proof that the presence of Eric Dickerson opens up a lot of things for your offense.
Oh, there's so much more you can do when you have a great back like that in your backfield.
Dickerson, the only man behind Hogaboom now. First down at the 13 of the Oilers. Here is Dickerson. At the 5, touchdown.
You think this city is not going to fall in love with Eric Dickerson? 2 touchdowns and 7 carries already. This goes back to show what we were talking about, that slashing style of running. That play was supposed to go to the right. He cut it all the way back to the left, and there's nobody home.
Finally, one little hop into the end zone, and Dickerson has his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. Biasucci will try the extra point. And it's good. The Colts take advantage of the fumbled kickoff and get another touchdown run from Dickerson. And the Colts lead it 21-3 with 12:19 left in the 2nd.
Page 5, headings. He wants them bolder.
Check. Presenting personal publishing with the IBM Personal System 2.
Page 7, artwork, smaller. No, bigger.
Well, make up my mind, will you?
Oh, no!
What?
The bonuses.
Everything your business needs.
Okay, print it.
To create quality documents in-house on short notice.
I'd like you to make a few changes.
Now get a $1,000 rebate on the IBM PS2 Model 80 with personal publishing.
When you're rocking down the highway, keep your engine rolling with a motor oil specially formulated for your car. Valvoline has high-performance formulas for turbo cars, 4-cylinder cars, hard-driven cars, all cars. Valvoline. Motor oil is not just motor oil.
Buongiorno. Here I am in Roma, thanks to my new autofocus Nikon. Hey, do you guys do any heavy metal? No? Now, when you buy a Nikon, you can fly Pan Am to the Caribbean, Hawaii, even Europe, and get a companion ticket for half the price. So that way, you can take along the little woman.
Nikon, now take the world's greatest pictures in the world's greatest places.
On an all-new Our House,
I made the team.
Jesse falls for David's coach.
Another date?
But will team pressure tear them apart?
You quit the team.
Tonight.
We're back again in the Hoosier Dome where things are rocking for the Colt fans. They're up 21-3. We hope everyone has had a pleasant Thanksgiving holiday. And, of course, the Colts had a little scam for the rookies during the holidays.
Oh.
They had a list to sign up for free turkeys, and everybody signed up. And then the rookies went to some place out in the middle of the wilds looking for the place to pick up the turkeys, and there wasn't anything there. Did you veterans ever do that to the poor rookies?
We used to get the stores in Seattle area lined up and say that they would give away a free turkey. And when the rookies would show up, we'd have a camera there and say that they were the turkey.
The Oilers mishandled the kickoff again, a flag down. Duncan had trouble getting the handle on the kickoff and finally went out of bounds. We'll see what the penalty marker is about. John Holt was down there for the Colts. Yeah, they had the rookies driving around the country looking for the fictitious grocery store and the fictitious free turkeys.
Kickoff, out of bounds.
Well, apparently Duncan didn't pick it up before it went out of bounds, so Jerry Glanville's team evading another mistake there. I thought that Duncan, number 80, had mishandled it.
It looked like he did, but apparently, like you said, he did not even get to the ball, which is very dangerous anyway.
Rule, place the ball on the 35-yard line, first down and 10.
And that's the new rule this year. They get it at the 35-yard line.
The Colts were down there. They could have gotten that ball before it got out of bounds and recovered it and then blown the Oilers out of this city, let alone this game.
Got one more word about the turkey scam of the Colts. They had a couple of the interns in the publicity department who took pennants and other Colt memorabilia trying to get bigger turkeys. They really swallowed the bait.
They go crazy around Thanksgiving and Christmas. And you know what's so bad about it? It's so well publicized. You hear about it when you're in college, what they did to rookies that year. And once you get into the pro ranks, you fall for that same trick.
replay booth took a look at that kickoff, as there was some confusion. We thought it had been handled, but apparently not. They looked at it on replay, and the call remains as it is. First down for the Oilers at the 35 after the kickoff went out of bounds. The Oilers have had the ball over 10 minutes in the game to only 7 minutes for the Colts. But the Colts have gotten more done with their time. They're up 21-3. Rozier trying to pick his way forward, gets only a couple of yards before Donnell Thompson stacks him up. Gets a lot of help from his blue-shirted teammates to take Rozier down.
Well, right now everybody's swarming to get to that ball and get a piece of the tackle.
McMahon hitting Anderson with a touchdown pass for the Bears, and for Philadelphia, Cunningham has thrown for a touchdown and scored a touchdown himself since we checked that score. See the other scores from around the league today. Second and 8. We understand the replay officials didn't have a good enough angle to reverse the call, so it remains as called. There's the first. No, it's incomplete. I thought that the catch had been made by Givens, but they ruled it incomplete with Eugene Daniel, number 38, covering for the Colts.
Well, they say he trapped the ball, and the sideline judge said that he trapped it. I'm not so sure about that myself.
It would have been enough for a first down.
I thought he caught that myself.
But instead, it'll bring up a third down. Here it is again.
Then you see Moon's ball in there. He caught it. It's a matter of whether he held on to it. And it doesn't look, maybe the official didn't think he held on to it because the ball was definitely high enough. Those are the frustrating plays there as a quarterback. When you throw the ball in a guy's hands and he drops that ball, those are the kinds of plays that you cannot live with because you're always going to overthrow or underthrow him. But when you hit him on the hands, you expect him to catch it.
Givens is in motion on 3rd and 8. Moon on the option, pitches to Rozier, lowers his head and dives close to the first down. It'll depend on the spot of the football. Mike Pryor covered Rozier as they run the option.
They ran that play in the ballroom. I don't know if you noticed it yesterday. They were running that in the ballroom. I thought they were just joking around with it.
They're spotted right on the 45-yard line as you watch it again. Moon reads and pitches.
Nice little pitch there. It's not like Nebraska or Oklahoma, but it does get the job done right now.
What kind of offense did you run at the University of Washington when Moon was there?
We ran an I formation where Moon would throw the ball or hand off to Joe Steele, and Joe Steele would do a lot of the things that Dickerson would do. That's cut back on the delayed draw.
The measurement shows that Houston, by half the length of the football, does have a first down. So Rozier on the option toss from Moon picks up a first down. A reminder that we will be selecting a Budweiser Most Valuable Player in today's game. That comes up at the conclusion of the contest. Freddie Robinson, the free safety, the starter for the Colts, has a sprained ankle. He's out of there. Rozier cuts it back as a penalty flag flies. Got about 8 yards on the carry. Mike Pryor, and with another stop with help from Barry Krause. But it'll be a holding call against the Oilers. Glanville says he wears that black outfit so that his players can easily pick him out of the crowd, but I think he just likes that black image. I think he likes to be the man, the bad guy.
Number 77, and the down will be repeated. The first down.
Bruce Davis was guilty of the hold, number 77. He said, who, me?
Bruce Davis. I know Bruce was holding. He played at UCLA when I was at Washington. You see him right there on the left side of your screen. Bruce going down the line of scrimmage. I don't know. Maybe Bruce was right that time. Maybe that for once he didn't hold, but he was at UCLA when I was at Washington. He also got picked up by the Raiders, so I had to play against him in the AFC West.
Makes it 1st and 20 from the 35-yard line for Houston. Moon's pass. Incomplete, out of bounds was Givens. Made the catch, but didn't have his feet in bounds. Willie Tullis was there covering.
I think Willie Tullis has seen that play a couple of times. He used to play with the Oilers, as you said before. Ernest Givens is pushing him off. Got him turned around real good, but Tullis stayed right with him and moved through the ball a little bit too far to the outside.
Tullis was out of football in 1986. Played for New Orleans in 85 and for Houston before that. Opened his NFL career with a kickoff return for a touchdown.
Not a bad way to start it out.
Houston 2nd and 20. Runners in motion. Moon's pass intercepted and then fumbled. And I believe Houston has it back at the 15-yard line. Johnny Cooks intercepted the ball, and on his way to the end zone, he forgot to take it with him. He fumbled it, and Houston recovers at the 15.
Very interesting play. The Colts have their nickel defense in there, but they have Johnny Cooks in there, and they also have Dwayne Bickett as some of the down linemen. The ball's just batted up there, and a nice defensive play to come up with it. You see he took 2 steps with it, so that does mean that he had possession. And fortunately enough for the Oilers, they get it back.
Well, if you can hear Bob Frederick or not, but he was saying just what we told you, that it was an interception and a fumble. Johnny Cooks out of Mississippi State batted the ball down, picked it off, but then fumbled it. And that's what, the 4th or 5th time today they've batted down Moon's pass at the line of scrimmage.
Exactly.
Well, it'll be a first down for Houston on the exchange of possession. They have the ball at their own 15. Nothing there for Alonzo Highsmith. The rookie out of Miami is wrapped up by Bickett and Cooks, the outside linebackers.
This Houston offense is just totally impotent right now. They cannot run the ball. They're not passing the ball. The best thing they could do is punt it, but they're afraid to punt the ball right now because they've already had a field goal block, too.
They lost 3 yards on that play to Highsmith, and it's 2nd and 12. Lost 2, I guess. 2nd and 12 officially from the 13-yard line. Pinkett and Highsmith in the backfield behind Warren Moon. He sends Gibbons wide to the right. Hill is wide to the left. Across the middle, intended for Gibbons. Oh, that was a great catch. Great catch at the 30, just off the shoe tops by Ernest Gibbons. Not much Nesby Glasgow could do but fall on Gibbons, who picked it right off the turf.
Moon sends 2 receivers deep, and then he drags again. He drags Gibbons underneath. Good protection up front. You see Gibbons going at the top of your screen there with Glasgow on him. Moon puts it exactly where it has to be. I'm not so sure. Yeah, Nesby did put a hand on him because he could have gotten up and run for big yardage on that. But that was a nice play. Moon needed that one. The Oilers needed that first down.
Gibbons and Brooks, 2 of the best young receivers in the game with remarkably similar statistics. And that was a sensational catch by Ernest Gibbons, the 2nd-year player out of Louisville. Moon with time again, across the middle again to Gibbons. Ducks 1 tackler, gets a couple of more yards before he's slammed to the turf. He's game, I'll say that.
He's game, and there's a lot of hard hitting going on out there. He may not get up after this one, though.
He's getting up slowly. He's getting a call from Houston right now.
They've got Nesby Glasgow, a strong safety, covering him. They must have their nickel package, and Nesby plays corners, safeties, free safety. But Moon puts this ball again right where it had to be. Gibbons comes up with the catch. You see at the top of your screen there. And then he ducks under Nesby's tackle there. And everybody gets a shot at him now. But watch Sally come in and put the big hit on him right here.
And you hear the crowd perhaps react as they showed it on the big screen here at the Hoosier Dome. It was Jerome Sally at 6'3", 270 pounds. Wide receivers aren't used to those kind of guys hitting them. They're used to the defensive backs who are a little smaller.
That's right. The coaching staffs have always told the defensive line, when the ball is complete or when something's behind you, go back down the field and pursue the ball, because you can get a hit like that and you may also cause a fumble.
There's Gibbons walking off, apparently just shaken up, not seriously injured. Watch it again. This is the tough spot for the receivers across the middle. You know you're going to get hit. He ducks under 1 tackle but just sets him up for the kill.
That's right. Now he's 10 to 15 yards downfield. You've got to remember that Sally is all the way back upfield, so he gets a full shot at him and just levels him at the end of the play.
First down, though, for the Houston Oilers, who are trying to get something going. They move the ball up and down the field, but have only 3 points to show for it. 8 minutes to play in the second quarter. 21-3 Colts. Rozier back in for the Oilers. Moon's pass again across the middle and again open for a first down. Making the catch that time, Drew Hill, with Eugene Daniel finally stopping him, but another first down for the Oilers. They're really getting a lot of room across the middle.
Well, Drew Hill's going to go downfield and just make a simple end cut. The thing that opens this up is that the linebackers are being sucked up off the play fake, and they're biting on it for whatever reason. They're up by 18 points, but they're going to leave that middle open for Drew Hill to catch that one.
Drew Hill, second leading receiver behind Gibbons on this team. First and 10 at the 37. On the ground this time, Rozier shakes the tackler and finally takes it to the 32-yard line. Nesby Glasgow comes up to put the hit on him.
What's interesting about this Colt defense is that they do have, what, 7 first-rounders on there? Nesby's not one of them, but they've got Barry Krause, who I played against in a couple of All-Star games, played against him when he was at Alabama, and they beat us like we stole something those 2 times. And everybody's trying to get to that ball. Nobody has really heard about this Colt team until this year with the acquisition of Eric Dickerson.
Second and 5 for Moon, who's hit on 8 of 19 passes, 94 yards, and has had 1 picked off. Again, he finds a man open. That time Moon threaded the ball, put it right where it needed to be, and got another first down grab from Drew Hill. Eugene Daniel gets credit again for the tackle, but another first down pass from Moon to Hill.
Well, again, he's going to run the little pass to Drew Hill on the outside, just a simple step out. It's a 3-step drop. Drew Hill gets downfield so fast that he's out in the clear, and Moon did thread the ball there. He threw into double coverage, but that time it turned out successful for him.
21-3 with just over 6 minutes left in the first half from the Hoosier Dome. That last play covering 14 yards. It's first down at the 17 for the Oilers. Rozier comes back the other way. Can he get outside? Turns the corner. Out of bounds inside the 10 of the Colts. Willie Tullis forced him out of bounds. The play designed to go left, and a la Dickerson a few moments ago, Rozier broke it back the other way.
Those are the kind that you hate as a linebacker, is a guy who can start one side and come all the way back across the field. He sets you up for the blocks. He sets you up, and you've got to stay at home. Then he just sets you up to do whatever he wants to do with you.
Rozier, the Heisman Trophy winner, 1983 from Nebraska. Played in the USFL, came over to Houston, was their #1 rusher last year. #1 rusher this year, and 72 yards already today. First and goal from the 7. Moon for the end zone. Touchdown, Houston. Drew Hill makes the grab right at the corner of the end zone, and Willie Tullis beaten on the play.
They like to throw. I've just figured out they like to throw that little pass where it looks like Moon's throwing the ball behind the receiver. Drew Hill does a 360 here and comes back for this one. They're not. Everybody else is expecting you to loft the ball to lead the receiver, but Moon's going to throw it behind, let the receiver make the 360 move and then catch the touchdown, because they did the same thing with Gibbons at the end of the first quarter where he dropped it, and now Drew Hill comes up with the touchdown reception.
Zendejas for the extra point. 19 for 19 this year, and now perfect in all 20 attempts. So a beautiful drive engineered by Warren Moon, and the Oilers have their first touchdown to draw closer to the Indianapolis Colts. 5:41 left in the first half. It's Indianapolis 21 and Houston 10. Warren Moon looked good on that drive.
He did look good on that. That's a drive that Warren needed, as well as the Houston Oilers. It means more than just getting back in the game. It gives him the confidence, and it gives the team the confidence in the fact that he can get them down there.
Don't forget, coming up later this afternoon, the Skins game, one of the most popular golf events all year long. And the Skins game featuring Nicholas Trevino, Palmer, Fuzzy Zeller. That's coming up at the end of today's football action. Check your local listings for the time in your area here on NBC.
This is a weird game. There's so many of the people on the field that I played with either as teammates or played against in college.
It's a strange situation to see them play on the field. I know, as we check the other scores, Green Bay back in front of Chicago. They almost beat the Bears a few weeks ago. Buffalo 14-0, bidding for their second win over the Dolphins this year. They won in Miami earlier. Pittsburgh has taken the lead over New Orleans. And here it's now 21-10. The Indianapolis lead. Short kick taken by one of the up men. It's George Wansley, and Wansley advances the ball to the 28-yard line. Hogaboom and company back on the field with a cheer from the 58,000 or so here at the Hoosier Dome. A near sellout crowd today.
You know, if they were cheering, there's a guy that comes off the sideline after every kickoff and picks up the kicking tee and runs over and slams himself down on the sideline.
Ron Meyer. A lot of offensive fireworks here in the first half. A 21-10 score. 5.5 minutes left. Dickerson. He's outside. Flag down as Dickerson is taken out of bounds at the 47-yard line. The play was designed to go off tackle. He didn't even head in that direction. Immediately kicked it outside.
Well, that's what scares you about Eric Dickerson. I think he's got everybody on the team because George Wansley did it on the kickoff. He cut back behind where the play was supposed to go. Watch this stop and go. I mean, there's nobody better at this. He stops and then he gets all the way outside, just a 90-degree angle turn, and he's gone outside and picking up full speed again.
It will be nullified by a penalty, however, an 18-yard gain wiped out by this infraction.
Personal foul, illegal crackback on the offense, number 88. Will be first down.
John Brandis, the rookie tight end, with the crackback block. And it wipes out the 18-yard gain for Ron Meyer and his team. Meyer took the New England Patriots to the playoffs in his other stint as a head coach in the NFL. First and 24 for the Colts. Dickerson takes it just shy of the 20-yard line.
Ron Meyer has added something to this team too. I was talking with some of the players and asked the two big things, Dickerson and Meyer, what have they added? Meyer has added the touch that if Houston scores 5 touchdowns on us today, then that means we've got to score 6. Rather than saying that we've got to hold them from doing this, we have to outdo their team, is all he says to do.
And I think it characterizes both of these teams and their rise from the bottoms of their divisions this year that there's a new philosophy, and they don't give up like they might have in the past. Witness the 2 beatings they took last week. They're back here in good form today. It'll be a pass interference call as Hogaboom's pass intended for Brooks. Patrick Allen collided with Brooks, who went to the turf, and it will be an interference call.
I think that's going to be on offense. It sure is.
It's offensive. You're right, Michael. Offensive call against Brooks, who was the man that went to the turf.
You can't see it here, but Brooks started. He delayed at the line of scrimmage and in hopes that he would get caught up in the traffic. But you do see him bump into Patrick Allen, reach around and try to grab him, make sure he doesn't make that interception, which isn't that bad of a play.
Offensive pass interference, number 80, and the penalty will be declined. It'll be third.
It'll be third down, Bob.
Well, that's a penalty that, as a coach, you can live with because you don't want to give up the ball. If he's going to interfere with the guy and make sure he doesn't intercept it, that's fine.
Well, you remember both players have a right to the football, and Patrick Allen really had the best chance of catching it, and Brooks kept him from picking it off, even though he did get the interference call. Hogaboom sends it long, and it's complete to Beats, the tight end, into Oiler territory. No, now they rule incomplete.
Well, I'll tell you, that'll be a hard one to prove to me because it looked like he did catch that ball.
Jeff Donaldson, Domingo Bryant sandwiched Beach after he had a hand on the football, and they'll rule it incomplete. They'll look at this one on replay, I'm sure. You can too.
Hogaboom got hit as he released it, but Beach stretches out like a quarterback likes his man to do. Gets out there. I think he caught that ball. I don't see where it came loose.
There's the replay booth. Frank Sinkovich, the replay official.
Well, he's got his work cut out for him right now. They've already made their minds up.
Michael, I believe the he was juggling the ball, was Beach, and never really had it firmly in his grasp, and I think that's the ruling.
Well, I never saw it come down. I never saw it come loose. But apparently Bob Frederick and his crew saw that he did not catch it.
See, right now,
I don't... Oh, yeah.
It's close.
It is close.
Replay confirms it, however, and 4th down, Stark, in his only other punt, got off only a 33-yarder. Kenny Johnson twists his way to midfield. 37-yard kick by Stark that time. 7 yards on the return by Johnson. And the Oilers with great field position. They'll take over at the 50-yard line, trailing 21-10 with 4 minutes 20 seconds left in the second quarter.
That's one of those plays on that alleged reception that you like to see. The officials made their minds up. The replay crew took a look at it. They got the better view of it than we did, than I did at least, and made their decision. So there's no doubt about it. The pass was incomplete.
They'll spot the ball officially back at the 49 of the Oilers when they take over with a first down. Across the middle, Moon has Gibbons again. Ball loose. Indianapolis has it. It's Willie Tullis that falls on it for the Colts. Maybe it's not Tullis. We'll see who it is. It's not Tullis. He's not down at the bottom there. It's going to be somebody else.
We're still trying to sort that out. Moon gets the ball off to Gibbons. A little quick slant in. He's got one-on-one with Nesby Glasgow out there. Gibbons actually left Nesby. Glasgow comes back, puts a big hit on. Then Pryor comes in, gets a shoulder in there. Everybody does, and then you see the scramble for the ball. And apparently the Colts did recover.
And it's Barry Krause, I think, the veteran, that finally came up with the football. Number 55, Krause. They lead the league, the NFL, in fumble recoveries, and they get another one there after Gibbons made a good catch and a good run. And I think it was Pryor's hit that knocked the ball loose.
I believe it was. He did put it in there. He put his shoulder in there along with Nesby Glasgow. But Barry Krause put those big bare arms around the ball, and nobody's going to take it away from him.
Both offenses moving the ball today. Only mistakes have been their undoing. Here's the look into Booza, and he takes it out to the 49-yard line. 21-yard gain, Hogaboom to Booza.
Getting a lot of fireworks going on here. Everybody's going for that little quick slant-in pattern. Hogaboom did it just then. There's no way to get a rush on there. The only thing you can do is get your hands up. Booza gets the ball, gets down there for a big gain.
Eric Dickerson behind Hogaboom on first down. 3.5 minutes left in the first half. Here's Dickerson. Nothing there that time. They met him as soon as he had the handoff, and he'll lose 3 yards back to the 45. Doug Smith, who got the start at nose tackle in place of Charles Martin today, makes the stop for the Oilers. Jim Kelly with a couple of touchdown passes. 21-0 Buffalo over Miami, a big Eastern Division clash. Philadelphia continues to lead. Pittsburgh extends its lead over the Saints. The Jets are ahead by 10. St. Louis over Atlanta. Here it's 21-10. The Colts just under 3 minutes left in the first half. Hogaboom. Complete to Beach. He's rocked to the turf at the 48 of the Oilers. A short gain. Al Smith, the rookie linebacker out of Utah State, hit him hard at that point. And a scuffle breaks out right in midfield, but not much to it.
Timbers are flaring. This game used to be just one of those also-ran games. It didn't mean very much in the standings, didn't mean very much to either one of the teams. But now, Houston being one game out and the Colts being tied for first, it means a lot right now.
Dickerson walks to the sideline on a third down play, 3rd and 5. And Bentley is in. Remember, Bentley had the long touchdown catch earlier in the game.
I'd look to him going one-on-one again against the linebacker.
Hogaboom's pass deflected, intended for Beach. But Keith Bostic on a safety blitz got a hand up to knock it down. So Hogaboom will go to the sideline and the punting team comes on. We'll take a break with the Colts leading the Oilers 21-10.
There's an advanced new shape in heavy haulers. The smooth, rounded shape of aerodynamics to cheat the wind and put more power to work. You see it in big rigs and right out front in the advanced new full-size Chevy with standard Vortec V6. Enough standard power to tow over 58 tons of these big rigs and this Ford.
The heartbeat of America. That's today's Chevy truck.
Being an all-round cowboy isn't always a case of throwing a perfect loop. Sometimes it's a sack of potatoes. And when you're ready for a second opinion, head for the beer brewed natural as a mountain stream.
Well, that was really good. Want some more? Sure.
Head for the mountains of Bush beer.
Now that Kmart has a sale on men's Wrangler 915 stone-wash jeans and colorful men's sweaters, finding the perfect Christmas gift for Dad could be the easiest part.
Presenting a turning point in the history of screwdriving, the Black & Decker cordless screwdriver. A screwdriver so powerful it can drive 100 screws on a single charge. Any less, and it wouldn't be the Black & Decker cordless screwdriver.
They are called Olympic hopefuls, but hope plays a small role here. For it will take a courage, a discipline, and a sheer will few of us will ever know. And if their effort is true, then they too will be known as Olympians.
After the 2-minute warning, 21-10 Indianapolis, and a 4th down. Ron Stark in punt formation for the Indianapolis Colts. 33 yards and 37 yards on his first 2 punts. Got some pressure this time. Taken by Johnson, who's taken to the turf. Good coverage on the play by John Holt on special teams. So in the final 2 minutes or so of the first half, Warren Moon will try to get something on the board. Had a good drive going last time after taking over near the 50, but the fumble by Givens negated any chance for points. And so this time they'll start from their own 18-yard line.
The Oilers can get down and get at least a field goal out of this. This will put them exactly where they want to be back in the game because they do receive the second half kickoff.
3 wide receivers set right here for the Oilers. Moon from the shotgun. Across the middle, incomplete, intended for Hill. Hill had a lot of people around him with Nesby Glasgow the closest. Perryman was also there and had a linebacker helping out as well.
It's one of those dangerous passes as a receiver. You don't mind going over the middle unless there's congestion there, just like there was that time. There were 3 guys in there, and one of them a big linebacker.
2nd and 10 with 1:44 left. The Oilers have all 3 timeouts remaining. Moon 12 of 22 on the day. Duncan, who takes it to the 40-yard line. 22-yard gain and a first down for the Oilers. Mike Pryor gets the tackle.
He's catching them in man-to-man coverage. Moon can thread the ball in there, and he does.
First one in this half. They have 2 remaining in the half.
And Bob Frederick noting that Houston has taken its first time out, stopping the clock with 1:33 left.
It's one of the things about Warren Moon. He'll get the ball in there. He puts it right in the hands of the receiver coming across the middle, just running a regular pass route, reading to see what the defenders are going to do. Catches the ball, picks up the first down. But if you put too much pressure on Warren Moon in this situation out of the nickel, then you've got your rushers upfield already past him, and he's got enough speed and strength to pick up a first down on his own.
See the timeout situation as Houston continues to throw at will across the middle.
Well, they like throwing it in the middle. They have not gone deep as yet. Deep being down the sidelines yet, but they're throwing the ball to where the Colts are giving them the open field, and they're going to take what they give them right now.
2 teams in the thick of the playoff race. The Colts are looking for their first win at home in November since coming to Indianapolis back in 1984. They're 0-8 in the month of November here at the Hoosier Dome.
That's amazing, and this crowd is primed and ready for it today, I'll tell you.
45-yard line. He got 5 yards on the play, but the clock keeps running. Byron Darby making the tackle for Indianapolis. Play is already called, and Moon lines up in the shotgun. 3 wide receivers to the left. Across the middle again, and complete again. To the 35, the 30. Out of bounds is Haywood Jeffers. Chris Good makes the stop, but it was a 23-yard gain.
Boy, I tell you, he came all the way from across the other side of the field, bobbled the ball, and then almost made a big play on the far sideline. Moon lays the ball again in perfectly, a little bit behind him, but he bobbles it, and if he doesn't get pushed barely right here, he's going up the sideline for a big gain.
He's the Swift rookie out of North Carolina State. Caught 111 in college. Second all-time leading receiver for the Wolfpack. First down at the 32.
An option again.
Pitch it back to Rozier. Hurdles a couple of tacklers and totes it to the 25. Mike Pryor again in on the tackle. 5-yard gain and a timeout taken by Houston. So they'll have 1 timeout left. Clock stops with 59 seconds remaining.
Houston's mixing up on this drive. They mixed the pass and the run very well. They've even thrown in a couple of gadgets. You know, this option is something that I'm sure nobody has really seen. But you've got a good running back, the perfect one, in fact, running it. Rozier ran the option at Nebraska when he's in college.
Rozier has carried 16 times today for 84 yards. So far has outgained Dickerson, though Dickerson does have a couple of touchdown runs to his credit. On the ticker, the Bears had tied the Packers at the half. 21-0 the Bills, bidding for a sweep over the Dolphins at halftime. Philadelphia with a 7-point lead on New England. Pittsburgh continues to lead. The Jets over Cincinnati. And St. Louis in front of Atlanta by 10, still playing in the second quarter. And here at the Hoosier Dome, 59 seconds left in the second quarter. It's Indianapolis 21 and Houston 10, but the Oilers knocking on the door from the 26-yard line of the Colts.
Look for the Oilers to go deep on this one, try to get the 6 points right now.
Goes out of bounds for a loss in the play of about 5. John Holt chased him out of bounds. What was that?
I don't know what that was. I think they had a mix-up in plays. Rozier broke to the right, Moon went to the left, and they kind of looked at each other and said, well, which way are you going? I'm going out of bounds now.
Lost about 5 yards. The only good thing, it got out of bounds to stop the clock.
Yeah, so they didn't waste the time out there. I don't think it was a busted play. Maybe it was that option again.
Well, if he had no one to option it to. He was all out there by himself. Perhaps he went the wrong way.
That's right. Your options are these. You have none.
Rozier is set behind Warren Moon. Double wide receivers to either side on 3rd and 9. Moon lets it go as he's hit, and it's incomplete.
Ooh.
Chris Good.
They had the right play call. They had a safety blitz. The Colts had a safety blitz. Moon laid the ball out there for his receiver. Nobody was in the middle, but the ball was overthrown again.
Chris Good was coming and cracked Moon just as he let the ball go. It'll be a long field goal attempt by Zendejas. 49 yards. And the kick is short from 49. So the Oilers miss out on a chance to get a few more points just before the half ends. 44 seconds left. It's 21-10 the Colts, who now take over the football in their own territory. Jerry Glanville's team has been able to move the football. They just haven't been able to get any points.
They've been very effective, let's say, between their own 10 and the Indianapolis 30, but they haven't been able to cross that barrier and get into the end zone except for one time. That mixed play, whether it's an option or not, is the one that hurt them on that drive, however.
Let's see if Indianapolis just elects to kill the clock or whether they try to get some points. They're going to hand the ball to Dickerson. That could be, no, it's not Dickerson, it's Bentley, and Bentley twists forward to the 37-yard line.
You're doing the same thing that I did when Bentley caught that touchdown. I thought it was Dickerson myself.
Indianapolis does stop the clock with a timeout, so perhaps Ron Meyer is looking for some more points before halftime. Has the ball at his own 37-yard line as he talks to Gary Hogeboom, his quarterback, 8-year veteran out of Central Michigan, who played for the Dallas Cowboys. Remember that controversy with Danny White over who should start when he was with the Cowboys. Colts with 2 timeouts left. Hogeboom has been injury prone. He had injured thumb ligaments to start this season. Also been banged in the ribs. He broke some ribs and missed a game or so. Last year he missed most of the season, but did come back to lead the Colts to victory in the final 3 games of the year.
He was one of the first moves that Ron Meyer made when he got here, was to activate Gary Hogeboom and make him his #1 quarterback. And so far, I'd say it's paid off very well for him.
He's really a team leader, is Hogeboom, a fiery sort of person that is not afraid of the contact. In fact, Ron Meyer says sometimes he's his own worst enemy, that he'll put his nose in there and take a hit when he ought to just duck out of bounds.
Some guys just don't know what's best for them, huh?
2nd and 5 for Indianapolis. Hogeboom lofts it, and it's complete to Brooks. Brooks runs under it, and now they say he was out of bounds. No completion. Brooks, they rule, was out of bounds when he made the catch. Patrick Allen had inside position. Hogeboom lofted it up outside to let Brooks run under it.
If he was out of bounds, the only reason is because he didn't get both feet down. He got one in. He got, it looks like 2 to me.
Right on that sideline. It's really too hard to tell if he was on the edge of it or not.
He got 1 7/8 in.
Depends on the size of that shoe. If it had a smaller size, that'd have been okay. Hogeboom has hit 7 of 13 for 130 yards, and this time he hands off to Bentley. Bentley's got some room. Backs his way into Oiler territory to the 47, where the Colts used their last timeout. 17-yard gain by Bentley. 26 seconds left, and the Colts stop the clock.
That's the thing that Eric Dickerson has added to this team. Albert Bentley, they said, has not played up to his potential. This play is what his potential is. He has the threat to break away every time, just like Dickerson. And you see he accelerates through that hole, puts the big move on, and just is barely brought down.
Here's Albert Bentley from the University of Miami, a 3-year veteran, #2 rusher on this team, a #4 receiver. He's 5th in the AFC in the rushing department, and a couple of seasons in the USFL. There's Hogeboom and Meyer again conferring. The Colts do have 1 timeout left. I think I said they used their last, but this was their 2nd, so they have 1 timeout left.
The Colts are going to find themselves in a very peculiar predicament when Randy McMillan, who used to be the running back here, comes back next year. He was hurt in an accident this year, so he's going to miss this whole season. But they've got Bentley, they've got Dickerson, and you've also got McMillan. You've got to find a place for all 3 of those guys.
Bentley's rushed for 43 yards and has received for 72 so far in the first half. 115 yards total for Bentley. Hogeboom again puts it up to let his man run under it. And a flag down. Brooks was trying to run under it. The defense had good position, and I think it'll be offensive interference, if anything.
They're going to call that defense.
Really?
Hogeboom saying it's on the defense, and quarterbacks usually know.
Audrey McMillan was defending for Houston. Let's see.
I disagree.
Pass interference.
I don't see how you call that defense. He turned around just in time. You don't have to run down there all the way looking at the ball. You have a right to that ball, but you've also got to cover your man, which is what McMillan was doing. He turned back in time to knock the ball away.
Well, it will be an interference call against the Houston Oilers, and it's a 25-yard penalty. And it sets Indianapolis up now in scoring territory. They're at the 22-yard line. They have 22 seconds and a timeout left. Hogeboom has it knocked down. It's incomplete. Stops the clock with 17 seconds.
That was a great defensive call. They came on a safety blitz right up the middle, got their hands up, knocked that ball, almost picked it off. And the Oilers are going to need some help getting out of this hole that they're in right now. They cannot afford to go in down 28-10. They've got to stop them. They can't even afford to let them kick a field goal right here.
Biasucci warming up on the sideline in case he is called on to try the field goal. Second down and 10 from the 22. 17 seconds left. Hogaboom hit. Oh, and the catch made by Bentley. He's got a touchdown. Jesse Baker hit Hogaboom, the ball spinning crazily.
That was Jeff Donaldson caught him, and that reminds me of the play that Franco Harris made years ago against the Raiders. And when he was a rookie, picked up that ball off the foot of Jack Tatum and ran it in for a touchdown.
And what a catch by Albert Bentley.
But I'll tell you what, Hogaboom got taken off the field. He's walking off the field. You see him there. He is in serious pain, folks. That hurts.
Here's Biasucci for the extra point. It's good. Albert Bentley with a sensational catch. And another Colt touchdown that comes with just 10 seconds left in the half. Hogaboom, though, seriously injured and helped to the sideline and to the dressing room. So it may be a bittersweet score for the Colts. They lead, though, 28-10 with just 10 seconds left. It's been an offensive show here. The man that would replace Hogaboom would be Jack Trudeau, the second-year man out of Illinois.
Well, he's going to have his work cut out for him because Hogaboom has been the spiritual leader of this team. He's been on the field taking care of business, and Trudeau will now come in and try to continue what Hogaboom has started here.
Last week against New England, the Colts owner, Robert Irsay, went to the sideline in the third quarter and suggested, they say here with the Colts, to Ron Meyer that he replace Hogaboom with Trudeau. Meyer said, no, we'll have the wind in the fourth quarter. We'll stay with Hogaboom. But eventually, Meyer did replace Hogaboom with Trudeau. And a lot has been made of Irsay going to the field. And the Boston Globe said that he demanded the quarterbacks be changed. The Colts say he suggested. And in fact, the change wasn't made until the fourth quarter.
Well, who knows whether he suggested or demanded, but however it came about, a change was made later on.
And earlier this week, Blair Keel, who was the third quarterback of the Colts, was released. So this is the first game that the Colts have only had two quarterbacks. Trudeau, the backup to Hogaboom. Blair Keel was waived earlier, and Sean Salisbury not active for this game.
I'll tell you, if Trudeau takes a hit like Hogaboom just took, they're going to be in trouble. I don't know who else could play quarterback. Maybe Dickerson. Salisbury, as you said, is not active, and Blair Keel has been released.
Here's Biasucci with the kick. Just 10 seconds left. Duncan fields it at the 10. And wrapped up at the 24-yard line. Ron Stark is the emergency quarterback for the Colts. He would be the man that would come in if Trudeau should go down and if Hogaboom can't return.
A punter?
Well, he couldn't do much worse than his kicking.
That's all I'll say is a punter, because those are some strange people anyway. I guess they're strange enough to be quarterbacks.
The Pro Bowl kicker of '86 has really been struggling and has yet to crack 40 yards today on a punt.
He's
4 seconds left. Excuse me, Michael.
He's got a career average, Ron Stark does in punting, of 45.16. And he's not even close to that this year, let alone this game.
Came into this game averaging just a tick over 40. It's probably gone below that with today's performance. Oilers have it. 4 seconds left. Boone's pass is complete. They toss it back to Rozier. And he'll be taken out of bounds.
Oh, face mask.
They got him on the face mask. And the half cannot end on a penalty, so perhaps the Oilers can get a field goal attempt out of this.
That's one of those dumb mistakes. You know that you've got the guy by the face mask. You've got to let go. Another penalty flag was thrown late after the face mask penalty. But that's just a dumb mistake right there.
This has been a wild and woolly game through the first half. Rozier got the toss back as they completed the pass, tossed it back. Here you'll see it. Drury passing back to Rozier.
Eugene Daniel comes in. He's got good position, but he grabs that face mask.
Well, on the replay, it doesn't look like he got the face mask.
It didn't, but any part of that helmet is considered the face mask. And then if you take him down, then it's flagrant.
A second penalty went down, and there's Daniel.
And some of the Oilers are laughing about it, so apparently it wasn't that flagrant. But Rozier was not laughing. He got up and he was ready to go to war with Eugene Daniel on that one.
And a second flag came down at that time. No time left on the clock, but the half cannot end on a penalty against the defense.
Personal foul on the defense and a personal foul on the offense. And the half will be ended. There will not be any kind of a replay. The half is over.
Well, Bob Frederick very definite about that. And what happened was the second flag was a penalty against the Oilers, and it cost them a chance at a field goal, and Jerry Glanville is hot.
That may have been against Jerry Glanville or somebody on that sideline, because Rozier did not throw the ball at Eugene Daniel.
Glanville is still getting after the officiating crew. Well, it's the Colts in front at halftime, and we'll be back for halftime activities after a word from your local station.